Hello, Stacy here with Siouxland Magazine. Hope you are enjoying this week. It has just been absolutely gorgeous out. And now we are going to settle in for a little bit and we are going to have a wonderful conversation. I have joining me tonight, Mandy with Girls Inc. Hi, Mandy.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so excited to have you here. Boy, Girls Inc. just does incredible things for the young ladies in this community. For those who might not know, I'm going to let you elaborate a little and go into detail. I'm hoping people are reading Siouxland Magazine because we did do a story on you guys just recently. So obviously you're tuned in now, we're going to talk now, but for those of you out there, you always can go back and look at those stories. We keep our magazine, the digital versions, online, not only current but past issues, so certainly jump in and look at that too. But Mandy, talk to us. Let's just dive into this. Let's talk about Girls Inc. First of all, for those who might not know, and I'm hoping there's not many people who don't know, but what is Girls Inc? What is the purpose?
Well, the purpose is really succinctly stated in our mission, which is inspiring all girls to be strong, smart, and bold. And even though it's been around since the 1800s, nationally, locally here in Siouxland, Girls Inc. began in 1986 as a girls' club, and over the years became part of the national organization, which is Girls Inc. And so we are one of many affiliates in the US and Canada. And we are proud to offer, usually under normal
Yes,
circumstances, in a regular year,
right.
after school and summer programs for girls ages 6 to 18. And we're really specific about meeting our mission. We do that through programs, which we can talk a little bit more about later. So normally we would, this time of year, we would be open till 7 o'clock at night. We'd go pick up
Yep.
the girls at a variety of schools. They would eat snack and supper. They would have programming, and they'd have gym and STEM and all kinds of additional activities. We have lots of volunteers. So we have a quilting program. We
Cool.
have a variety. Yeah, we've had just had a wonderful we have a wonderful history with volunteers in the community as well. One of the things the girls do every year is a winter showcase. And part of that, our board members and people in the community are very generous about giving to the girls at the holidays. And we want them to
Mm,
know that it's really about the spirit of giving, not just getting.
yep.
So they each, by age group, pick a service learning project. So they've done bake sales, they've done penny wars, everything that they could to help out. And they've helped Crittenden Center and Support Siouxland Soldiers and the
Mm,
Humane Society, Ronald McDonald House, just everybody. So we try to help
awesome.
them understand that with all their experiences, to those whom much is given, much is expected. And
Oh,
it
I
doesn't
love
matter what
that.
your, yeah, me too. And,
Love that.
it doesn't matter what your home circumstances are, what your
Hmm.
personal circumstances are, because you can do something and you can make an impact in your community.
Yeah, and talk about making them feel empowered and making them feel, I mean, that's pretty much strong, right? Like to
Strong.
know that they can contribute, they can make a difference, that they're strong. Like that's a huge part.
Absolutely. And that means physically, mentally, emotionally. We want them to know that they have a voice and
Mm,
they can use that voice in a really positive way to impact change wherever they see that change needed in their lives. And that may be at the first and second grade level. I'm dealing with bullying and I need
mm,
to figure out how to handle this. We know that girl bullying is an issue, and it
yes.
is always something that is sad, and that's for many women sticks with us for years and years
Hmm.
after we've experienced it. So what we are teaching the girls through programming that was written specifically for girls, so less on the violence and more on the interpersonal
Hmm.
relationships. It's really about talking about disagreements in a respectful manner,
Mm,
giving other people a chance to state their point of view, but mostly confronting it openly and not talking behind other people's backs, really truly figuring out solutions to their problems and coming to agreement, or figuring out how they can live peacefully with each other with disagreeing views. Does that sound important
Mm.
at this time in life?
Yes, always. You're talking, I'm like, that's like my mission in life. Like, I want to bring people together for conversation, good, meaningful conversation, be curious instead of judgmental, to be able to have those conversations in a really safe way.
Yeah.
I love what you guys are doing, and it's so needed. And like you said, like, I'm not sure why this is, but girls are really mean to other girls. Like, it's very different having uh, a boy versus a girl, and seeing that experience as they grow up, how girls do that. So it is very needed that there's organizations coming in and helping to dissolve that and helping teach them the skills they need. Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Well, I feel really, really fortunate to be part of it because,
Mm.
what we find out, we have actually had some women come in and go through some of the programming. And the one I'm specifically talking about here that's anti-bullying and relational violence is Allies in Action. And one of the exercises in Allies in Action is learning about the commonalities. And so everyone takes a note card and writes down one example of how they were bullied. And each person takes turns standing in the middle, talking about what their one thing was. And if you experience that, you step closer. So everyone was in a circle and they'd step closer. In the end, everybody,
All
obviously not
together.
the time of COVID, but pre-COVID, is right in the center because we have all
Yeah.
experienced that and we've all held that hurt. So how do we resolve that, and how do we understand that those really are so important? Those skills are really important for us to grow as a person and move forward.
Yeah, I've seen something similar to that, not in the circle. I love that idea of the circle because it's really coming together. But what I have seen is when you're all starting in a straight line, and who gets across the line that's ahead of them first, right? And so
Right.
maybe now during COVID times, it can shift to something like that. But it's really impactful just to be able to see that and experience it. I think for those girls to see that they're not alone, that
Right.
everybody goes through hardships and all get bullied, for something or other. It's a great, great activity.
And we don't have to be in competition with each other as women,
No,
even though that happens a lot. There's some grooming, societal grooming, shall we say,
I was
going
just
on
gonna
there.
say, yep.
Yeah. But the reality is we can support each other. And another program we do is called Girl Circle. And I was walking through the halls one day. Girl Circle is an adult facilitator, but they're really just throwing out the topic. Then the girls, and it's a very small group of maybe 6 around these adult facilitators who are trained, they basically talk to the other girls about this topic. And I was walking through the halls checking on everybody one summer, and I heard the girls say, so they were talking about substance abuse, and there was the possibility of a 13-year-old girl going to a party over the weekend. And I heard another girl say to her, so what you're telling us is that if you go to this party and start drinking, you have the possibility of becoming a third generation alcoholic in your family. Is that what you want to do? Now, that coming from another girl is a completely different thing than coming from an adult who simply
Yep.
introduced this topic and said, what is your experience with this? And let's talk about it. It's powerful. It's
Wow,
life.
I have goosebumps. Wow.
Yeah. And that was just me walking through the halls,
Oh my
getting a snippet of
gosh.
what was happening. So that kind of thing. And then to have those really amazing staff role models that we have, as I said, they go through a lot of training, and they're amazing. They really tell the girls how to interact with each other, how to solve problems. They say, we're here for you. They're not judgmental. They're really good at walking that really fine line between being very professional and very approachable.
Yeah.
And they're wonderful role models. I'm so proud of my staff.
I can tell you're just beaming. I love it.
Yeah.
There is nothing better to me than being in company with someone who is passionate about what they do. And boy, Mandy, like, you exude that. Like, you can tell you love these girls, you love the program. Thank you. I really applaud you for everything that you're doing.
I'm starting to tear up because
Oh.
I'm so fortunate to be part of this organization. And I have to tell you, this community comes to the table for us time and time again. And I have to tell you, during COVID, I'm going to get a little choked up here because people have just reached out to us and said, how can we help your girls? How can we change their lives and make sure that they are impacted as in the most minimal way possible. And that's so meaningful. No matter where you're from, when you come to Sioux City, it's just a world of very, very caring people really wanting to help. That's been my experience.
Absolutely. I got interviewed last night by a student from the University of Iowa, and she was asking about, she goes, can you tell me a little bit about Sioux City? Like this, what I'm seeing is Siouxland, the Siouxland community. And I said, exactly, just completely echoed what you said, Mandy. Like, this community just brings it. We come together, we support each other, we collaborate. Couldn't be prouder than to be from Sioux City and Siouxland, actually. It's fantastic. So I know you touched on this a little bit, with bringing up COVID. Talk to us. You said really what Girls Inc. looked like pre-COVID and with the after school activities, but it has shifted, and you are really stepping up and offering things in a big way now that COVID has come about. Can we talk to us a little bit about that, what you're doing now?
Sure. Well, we closed in March, obviously, when the schools closed about the same time. And we immediately started serving grab and go meals to folks in the neighborhood. And we noticed that the schools were serving breakfast and lunch, but that sort of left a gap with snack and supper. So we served snack and supper right out of our garage at Girls Inc., sometimes out of the front, and we moved to the garage. And then on the weekends, we distributed weekend meal kits, which were boxes of groceries. And that was to get people through the weekend. I mean, it was pancakes and protein and everything that anybody might use, cleaning supplies and laundry soap. We distributed it all. And that was my husband, Kevin. I know you've interviewed him from Volunteers for Land. Me and our fabulous cook, Claudia, who has had 3 of her girls attend Girls Inc. And it was just, it felt great. We had such support from the community and other agencies as well. Then we started, and at the same time, my staff behind the scenes were working at home and offering virtual programming to all of the girls free. So if you needed a device, we could give you a device, a hotspot. And they were doing everything they can, from yoga and meditation to regular programming to just with the younger ones, just letting them say hi to each other. They miss so much.
See each other. Yeah, help them to connect.
Right. And their parents needed that break too.
I'm sure.
We're all homebound for a long time.
We're all adjusting, aren't we? Doing the best we can.
That's right. Yeah. So then we shifted to having summer program. Now, last year we had 217 girls. We couldn't do that because we had to follow social distancing guidelines. So we had to really cut down our capacity to 60, about 10 girls per classroom. And again, it was all just based on space. How far apart could we keep girls safely? We went through the masks. Parents were fabulously supportive about saying, I want her to wear a mask. I want her to be there. And so we ran a 6-week program, 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. with these girls. And we did not have a closure. And I'm just so amazed at the work that everybody did. The board did a tremendous job in planning and giving tons of advice and safety procedures, helping us really formulate all of those at the time. So that was tremendous to be able to do that. Then it came time to think about the school year, and we couldn't really safely go pick girls up and transport them. That in itself is a potential danger. So we reached out to our parents and said, would you be interested, since there is an option for children to go to school 100% virtual, would you be interested in that? And we had many of them say yes. And in fact, it was amazing to me. I had a mom reach out and she was crying. She said, I clean hotel rooms in the community, and I have an aging parent at home who can't be exposed. I've heard about rich people sending their kids to these programs and having 100% virtual. I didn't think I could do that. And so the opportunity, we have a sliding fee scale, and the opportunity for her to be able to do that, she was in tears and so grateful. So she brought her daughters. And so that's what we're doing now, Stacy. We are having girls 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. During the normal course of their day. They connect virtually to the schools and their teachers and do their classes. And then, and they're grouped by age and they're socially distanced. Then we surround all of that with our Girls Inc. world. So we have breakfast, lunch, and snack every day. We have STEM programming. In fact, I think this week, they're going to work on, might be next week, they're going to work on building wind turbines, these 3 feet tall wind turbines to collect clean energy. They're going to learn about that. They've done
Yep.
everything from what gummy bear, they have this gummy bear solutions and what makes the gummy bear grow most. They learn about the chemistry behind that. I mean, it's everything in the world.
Oh,
And
that's
then
awesome.
we have our tutoring center, and they get help with that. They get help with all of their assignments. And we were so pleasantly surprised to hear from multiple parents after parent-teacher conferences that how much their girls had progressed. We had a teacher say she's ahead of everyone. And
Wow.
yeah, and so everybody's hanging in there, and yet our working families who, and that's so critical, our working families are still able to go to
Go to
work.
work. Yeah.
We now finished this last week was, I think, 9 or 10 weeks, again, without a closure. And I've been at Girls Inc. for 18 years, a little over 18 years now. And I really think of all the things we've done, including build that building, that, beautiful building that we have. I think this might be one of the highlights that we've been able to do that because it means so much to the working families that we serve.
Yeah. I mean, as you're describing what you did there in that program, like my mind is just going boom, boom, boom. Like that's great for this reason and that reason and that reason. Like there's so much about that I love. Like, think about that. Like you said, like if parents, if you kept your kid at home to do virtual learning, like that's hard on the parents, especially if you don't know what they're learning. How do you support them in education? So you guys are there to do that. So it's already, to me, it's a jump up from just doing virtual learning because you have the support, but you're also, like you said, you're allowing them to work and to still be able to provide for their families. They're not trying to figure out how to do that balance. And to hear that your girls are like doing, not only are they surviving through this, but they're thriving. Wow. Like,
Huge.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you
That's
again.
so huge.
It's a huge team effort, and it's what we thought would be best for this community.
Yeah.
How can we get people back on their feet? And the only way to do that, we thought, was to help. It also takes a little bit of pressure, I hope, off the schools because they've got a little more room, and yet we're still having these girls engaging with their schoolwork and adding all these supplemental and enrichment activities that girls normally do. We have gym.
On top of it.
We're still doing gym. They went outside. It's a beautiful week. So they all went outside and they were just doing wonderful things. We had picture day. We had a community volunteer come in and take photos and
nice.
provide photo packets free to our parents. So we're trying to make it, we had, of course, a wonderful Halloween party, and we're trying to make it really feel like school, and yet not school, and yet better than school. So
I say better than.
Right, they're connected. And I mean, sorry, but our cook is fabulous. So the food they get is amazing. Nothing against school food. I'm not saying anything. I just mean Claudia is incredible. When you get console and homemade everything, it's amazing. We're very fortunate. But again, this is a community effort. I mean, this is our board. This is the staff. This is volunteers. This is, and what's really amazing, and I want to mention this, Briarcliff University Education Department reached out to us and said, we're having trouble placing education students in practicums. There's a waiver now. So can they come and do their practicum at Girls Inc. since you're doing school? They're absolutely good. So it started out with education department at Briarcliff, amazing. And now the nursing department's doing the same thing. So those nursing folks are coming in. So that's amazing because we've got more great role models and mentors working safely with girls and making sure that they're getting their homework done, staying on task, and just making progress throughout the school year.
Another example of Siouxland coming together, right?
Right.
Love it. So it's clear that you already have a lot of people coming together to help and to do all this, but how else, like for someone who might be sitting on the other side of this listening right now, if they want to participate, if they want to do something to show their support, what can they do to help, Mandy?
Well, we have an auxiliary called Girlfriends. So if you're interested in volunteering, you can go on Volunteer Siouxland, or you can email us at Girls Inc. And it sounds really long, but it's just info@girlsincofsiouxcity.org, and we can direct you where you need to go. That's if you're interested in volunteering. Now, normally what the Girlfriends do is take the girls on field trips and do special events with them. Unfortunately, obviously that's not really happening,
Right.
but those girlfriends are still offering virtual programming in the afternoons after class. And so they're just joining up on a Zoom meeting. Lillian Rodriguez recently taught salsa dancing and making salsa.
Oh,
We had a
I want to learn that from Lilian. I'll be texting her after this.
we had a wonderful local artist teach the girls some art. We've just had amazing things. So if you're interested in doing that, great. Obviously, we're a nonprofit. We always need donations. And so you can go to girlsinc.org/donate. You can call and give a gift over the phone. The thing that has really changed for us is normally during the whole school year, we only have 3 full-time staff, me, our program director, and then our administrative coordinator. That's it. Everybody else is part-time. So imagine now having gone to full-day programs, we've had to add 5 full-time staff, multiple part-time staff to fill that entire day. And that costs a lot. Nobody's fault. It was unbudgeted. Nobody expected. Right. So again, if people want to give financially, and the community's been great about doing that, but we could always use more help. That's another way to do it. I guess the final way is we have our winter showcase coming up. And if you're interested, you can, again, email info@, girlsincofsiouxcity.org, and they'll send you the link to Sign Up Genius. And basically we've gone through, sat with each girl and said, what are your wants and what are your needs for Christmas? And honestly, to be just between you and me, we go behind the scenes and we talk to parents about what are their needs. What does she need? A coat? Does she need jeans? Does she need books? Those kinds of. So if you want to help in that very specific way, we have that opportunity too.
Okay, that's awesome. And of course, like I always do, I will put those links on there for all of you out there watching, so it's quick and easy for you to access. In addition to that, I'm going to put a video on. So Mandy shared with me a little testimonial video of a mother and daughter, and boy, talk about bringing tears, like, you feel it in the heart, right? I'm going to share that with all of you guys as well. So whatever you can do, again, to show your love and your support for Girls Inc. would greatly appreciate that. And another easy thing too is always like the Facebook page, like make sure that you are staying in the loop with that organization. That's one of the greatest, easiest things we can always do is just stay connected. So consider liking their page as well. Anything else that you wanted to talk about, Mandy, before we wrap up tonight?
I should also say, because we've been talking about this a lot, this is the time of year that United Way is out seeking donations. And we are a United Way agency. About 20% of our funds come from there. Those of you that give, I just want to say thank you to people who give to United Way, because I give to United Way and I don't designate to Girls Inc. Obviously I give to Girls Inc. personally as well. But I believe in that process, and it helps so many people and so many agencies around Siouxland, not just in Sioux City, but in the broader region as well. And I really believe in that. So we are grateful for those who give, and we hope that everybody will encourage a gift as well, because that's really where the rubber hits the road. I posted the other day, I'm so glad you said that about Facebook, because I posted the other day that the girls wrote me a letter asking for more copies of the Dork Diary book series. I love that series. And because we had a gift in memory of a former board member from Book People, we were able to go out and buy those, and the girls were just thrilled. Now, what is better than a child asking for a book in this day and age?
Not much. Not with that darn phone anymore.
Exactly. So I'm never going to stop a girl from reading, right?
Bring it on.
Right.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mandy, for joining me tonight and talking with everyone. And more than anything, thank you for everything you're doing to make a difference in all of those girls' world. It's just, wow. I can't say enough. Really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And for all of you out there listening, again, just remember, do what you can. I know there's a lot of nonprofits out there. We're all, experiencing a little bit of hardship one way or another, but things as simple as liking Facebook pages, trying to stay informed, and then just plug in, do what you can when you can. Every little bit makes a difference. Appreciate all of you out there watching. And one last thing before we wrap up, maybe you happen to be with a nonprofit. come join me. Come do one of these nonprofit spotlights, just like Mandy did. It's really easy. It doesn't cost anything. All you have to do is go to SiouxLandMagazine.com. My contact information is right there on the bottom of the page. Just reach out and I will get you scheduled. Would love to have you. Again, that's what this is all about. We're just creating this little space and time on Wednesday night so that we can give nonprofits a platform and a voice, just a bigger voice to reach more people, talk about what they are doing, and to allow those listening to do what they can to be supportive. So all of you out there, appreciate you so much. Thank you again, Mandy. Everyone have a wonderful evening. And if you are loving these videos, please, please, please consider sharing them. And remember to take little moments for yourself to find moments of joy. Good evening.